Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today we're reading When He Protects You by Zombie Lover 8469 on Wattpad. So let's get into it. Tsukishima. You made small talk as you walked home with Tsukishima. You watched him at practice, and it ended up late, so he insisted to walk you home. The both of you stopped walking after hearing arguing. When you turned your head, a ball was coming towards you, causing you to flinch. But after hearing a gasp, you opened your eyes to see Tsukishima holding the ball in front of you. You idiots. Hinata and Kageyama gave blue faces as Kei stared at them with narrowed eyes. With you behind him, he then raised the ball all over his head and threw it at them. We're sorry, Mayan. Before you could reply to Hinata, Tsukishima pulled you along by the hand. Thanks, Kei, you whispered, hugging him, and he gave you a one-armed hug in return. Be careful around those morons. You laughed a bit, nodding. Sure. Kuroo. Kageyama and Hinata were in argument. After everyone but you, Kenma, and Kuroo left the gym, as Kuroo and Kenma got their things ready, you were setting up water bottles so that you could practice like they asked you to. How annoying. Kuroo smirked as he placed his bag on his shoulder, walking over to you with his eyes shut and hands in his pockets. Baby girl, you... Just before Kuroo could finish speaking, Kageyama smacked the ball Hinata held up to him out of his hand, and it headed straight towards you. Before Kuroo stepped in front, making it his shoulder, as you stared at him with parted lips. The two of them flinched after Kuroo looked at the both of them with narrowed eyes, and a small growl slipped out of his mouth. You smiled, then hugged him tightly, picking his cheek before doing so. He then smirked and pulled your head back to him when you released him and tried to pull back up. Better stay close to me before I end up kicking someone's ass. Kenma, is it this one? Kenma nodded, making an aha sound after you pointed to a game in his game case at his house. It was a couple of inches higher than your height. You sealed your lips just as he stood up, but when you jumped and grabbed it, other games went along with that. And just as you gave a small gasp, Kenma pulled you into his chest with his chin resting on your head. His head was getting hit by the corners of at least 4 game cases. Ow. You smiled and pulled back. You then gave a small giggle when Kenma released you as well. Are you alright? You placed both hands on his shoulders, connecting his eyes with yours. Not really. You blushed and smiled a bit, apologetic, hugging him by his sides. You pecked his chest as he gave a small smile and placed an arm around you and kissed your cheek. Oikawa. It was another match his team played in. This time, you went to watch him while Karasune practiced another jam. Yet she came with you, since she had nothing to do either, as the two of you walked towards the stands. Oikawa was on the court. One of the other team's players spiked the ball. Umaizumi hit it, but it went sideways towards you, and Oikawa saw this, his lips parting in surprise before he went for it. Oikawa then stumbled backwards, smashing into chairs. You looked surprised, but before you could say anything, he followed the ball back onto the court. You just watched him, and he gave a glance at you with a small smile before focusing back on the match, leaving you flustered when Yachi pulled you along. Sugawara walked with you down the halls to your chemistry class. He held about 3 books in his hands as he held 2. The teacher requested you to pick up and bring them to class, and Sugawara offered to help. As you and him made small talk, a student opened up the classroom door. You faced your back to the door, giving thanks to her. But as the door started to shut, Sugawara saw the knob almost hit you, but he slammed the door just in time. Suga, are you alright? Sugawara opened his eyes after rubbing his forehead. You tried not to smile, but once he smiled at you, he gave a small giggle and a smile back, cupping his cheeks. And when he removed his hand, he had a red mark on his forehead. I'm fine. Here. He handed you back your books and held the door open with his palm. You smiled and blushed when you went inside the classroom with a shake of the head. Hinata. As he talked to Uka Sensei and Kyoko, Hinata practiced on a 3-on-3 match. Kageyama, toss! Kageyama gave a toss after that she hit it. But the ball went higher and farther away from where Hinata jumped. Everyone on the court gasped, seeing the ball speeding towards the back of your head. Before watching Hinata run towards you and jump, making the ball hit his stomach. You turned after hearing a weird sound. When you looked down, your lips parting as you saw Hinata holding on to his stomach. Shoyo? He looked up at you and gave you a thumbs up and a smile. Kageyama and Kei chuckled, hearing him groan a bit. But after he gave him a peck on the forehead, his smile widened and he could finally shake off the pain. Sure, it still hurt a bit, but it wouldn't be him if he made you feel bad for this. While Tsukishima and Kageyama watched, rolling their eyes.